Welcome to Criminal Minds podcast, where we delve into the most harrowing and complex true crime stories. I'm Brian, and today we explore a case that has not only shocked France, but also ignited global conversations about consent, betrayal, and the resilience of the human spirit, the case of Gisèle Pelicots. This story is a profound journey through deception, unimaginable violation, and a woman's courageous fight for justice. A quick warning. Today's episode discusses topics that may be distressing, including sexual assault and betrayal. Listener discretion is advised. To understand the gravity of this case, we need to start with the Pelicot family. Gisèle and Dominique Pelicot were both born in 1952 and married in 1973. Gisèle was born in the city of Villingen, in West Germany, to a French family. Her father was in the military, and despite losing her mother at the age of 9, she described a happy childhood. She met her husband, who she said had a tough childhood, when she was 20. She worked in administration at the state electricity company, while Dominique worked as an electrician and an estate agent and set up a number of businesses which ultimately failed. The couple lived in the Paris area and had 3 children. To people who knew them, Gisèle said in court they were a perfect family. She also said in court that she had had a 3-year affair with a colleague. The couple were divorced for a short period for financial reasons before remarrying. Gisèle was unaware that her husband had been caught upskirting women near Paris in 2010 and fined €100. In 2013, the couple retired to Maison-Vaucluse, a small town northeast of Avignon in southeastern France. Gisèle joined a choir, and her husband took up sport and cycling. They were visited by their children and grandchildren for holidays. Dominique was arrested on September 12, 2020 after he had been apprehended by a security guard for upskirting women using his mobile phone at an Leclerc supermarket in Carpentras near Mazin. He was released on bail pending investigation of his 2 mobile phones, laptop, and other digital equipment that had been seized at his home. Investigation of the equipment showed that he had solicited men to rape his wife on a forum called Son Insu, hosted on the Coco.fr website. The website, which moved its domain registration from France to Guernsey after Dominique's arrest, was said to have been connected to more than 23,000 French criminal cases between 2021 and 2024, and was shut down in June 2024. In the chat room Dominique invited other men to rape his wife. Skype messages were also found in which he boasted of drugging his wife and invited strangers to rape her. On a USB stick connected to Dominique's computer, investigators found a folder called Abuses, containing more than 20,000 images and videos of his unconscious wife being raped. The videos had been meticulously filed with explicit titles and the names of the men. The investigators identified 92 separate incidents of rape committed on Gisèle by 72 different men between July 2011 and October 2020. It took the police 2 years to identify and locate 50 of the perpetrators. The rest remain unidentified. The men were aged between 21 and 68 at the time of the rapes. Images were also found on Dominique's computer of his daughters-in-law in the shower, which had been taken with a hidden camera, and of his semi-naked daughter Caroline Darien unconscious on a bed as if she had been drugged. Dominique was rearrested on November 2, 2020 and charged with aggravated rape, drugging, and other sexual offenses. He was also accused of violating the privacy of his wife, daughter, and 2 daughters-in-law by covertly taking and disseminating intimate images of them. He immediately admitted his guilt. Dominique told investigators that the abuse started after his wife had been prescribed lorazepam, an anxiolytic drug which caused her to be drowsy. He took advantage of this by secretly adding Temesta to his wife's food and drinks, causing her to lose consciousness. He obtained additional Temesta from his own doctor. He had been prescribed 450 pills in 1 year alone. He would film the abuse sometimes committed after he had taken pills, if you know what I mean, and share the videos online. He then invited men from the online chat room to watch him abusing his wife, and on occasion to abuse her themselves. The men were given strict instructions, for example, to avoid smelling of fragrance or cigarette smoke in case it alerted Gisèle to their presence. The abuse took a significant toll on Gisèle's health. She lost weight and her hair started to fall out. She experienced memory loss and at times spoke incoherently to the extent that she worried that she might have Alzheimer's disease or a brain tumor. She visited a number of doctors but was always accompanied by her husband, who blamed her symptoms on exhaustion caused by looking after their grandchildren. None of the doctors suspected that she was being drugged. A psychologist said that Dominique refused to accept the harm he had done, instead complaining that the trial had destroyed his life, and that if he hadn't been arrested he would still be happy, and she too, everything would have continued the same way. On June 19, 2023, Gwenola Journot, an investigating judge from the Avignon Judicial Court, published a 370-page report indicting 51 men for rape. A 52nd suspect died of cancer before being arrested. The accused, who faced prison sentences of up to 20 years if found guilty, ranged in age from 25 to 72, and came from numerous walks of life: firefighter, IT worker, journalist, nurse, plumber, prison guard, and truck driver, with 41 of them being from Vaucluse. Many had partners and children. Most were charged with one count of rape, attempted rape, or sexual assault, but a few were charged with multiple offenses, including in one case 6 counts of rape. One man was charged not with the rape of Gisèle but with drugging and raping his own wife. Dominique was also charged with the same offense. While 49 were charged with rape, one of the accused was charged with attempted rape and one with sexual assault. A total of 23 of the accused had previous convictions, including 6 for domestic violence and 2 for sexual violence. Some of the accused admitted their guilt, whilst others claimed that the acts were consensual, with Gisèle pretending to be asleep or agreeing to be drugged, or that her husband's consent was sufficient. 5 of the men were also charged with possessing images of child sexual abuse. 12 of the accused appealed their indictment, but the Court of Appeal in Nîmes rejected the appeal on October 5, 2023. On September 10, 2024, the court heard from Jean-Pierre Marichal, the only one of the defendants who was not accused of raping or assaulting Gisèle. Instead, he had been given instructions by Dominique on how to drug and rape his own wife. He had admitted the charges. Dominique traveled to Drôme a number of times between 2015 and 2020 to rape Marichal's wife in their home. The cross-examination of the remaining defendants lasted from September 19th to November 19th, with the court taking a week's break at the end of October. The court screened videos of an unconscious Gisèle being raped by the accused. Initially, for reasons of decency, presiding Judge Arida had ruled to exclude journalists and members of the public from the screenings. Following arguments from Gisèle's legal team, the judge reversed his decision. Most of the accused denied the charge of rape, saying that they were unaware Gisèle was unconscious and unable to consent. Some claimed they thought they were taking part in a couple's sexual fantasy, or that the husband's consent was sufficient. Some claimed diminished responsibility. The closing arguments of the defense began on November 27th, with Dominique's lawyer Beatrice Zavaro the first to speak. She told the court that she had the utmost respect for Gisèle and her family, and asked them to remember the man who at one time had been a devoted family man. In a speech that quoted Sigmund Freud, John Betjeman, and Boris Cyrulnik, she argued that childhood trauma had caused split in Dominique's mind and caused his perversity. Lawyers defending the other 50 accused delivered their closing arguments over the following 2.5 weeks. A common theme was the inability of the men to resist in the face of the manipulative behavior of Dominique. On Monday, December 16th, the final day of the trial, Dominique was given an opportunity to make a final statement. He acknowledged the courage of his former wife and asked his family for their forgiveness. Also allowed to speak. Some had nothing to add. Some said they were not rapists as they had not intended to rape. Some apologized to Gisèle. The judges retired to chambers on the morning of 16 December 2024. Verdicts were decided by secret ballots cast by the 5 judges. They returned to court on the morning of December 19th to deliver the verdicts. Dominique was found guilty of all charges and received the maximum sentence of 20 years imprisonment. 50 defendants were also found guilty. 2 of them were found guilty of aggravated sexual assault and received sentences of 3 years imprisonment. 2 were found guilty of attempted rape with aggravating factors and received sentences of 5 and 6 years imprisonment, while the rest were found guilty of aggravated rape and received sentences ranging from 5 to 15 years imprisonment. The revelations of Dominique's actions had a profound impact on the Pelicot family. Their daughter, using the pseudonym Caroline Darien, grappled with the horrifying truth about her father. In 2022, Caroline published a memoir titled "And I Stopped Calling You Dad." The book delves into the family's trauma and the long-lasting impacts of Dominique's actions. It addresses themes of survival, bravery, and the fight against chemical submission. Thank you for joining us on this deep exploration of the Gisèle Pelicots case. It's a stark reminder of the darkness that can exist behind closed doors and the incredible strength it takes to confront it. We hope this episode has shed light on the complexities of this case and the broader issues it represents. Or someone you know is experiencing abuse, resources are available to help. Stay safe, stay informed, and join us next time as we continue to uncover the stories that need to be told.